Welcome to Sean's Thoughts. I was actually just imagining doing something else right now. Actually, I was in the middle of watching a video myself when I suddenly just pulled out the camera and decided, hey, let's do a stream. Do a stream. Funny. Anyways, welcome. I appreciate your attention. And on the back, we're spending more of my attention on my beautiful tree that I've lived with for such a very long time. It's funny, or perhaps I never really until recently thought of the objects in our life as being companions in our life. And in the last 2 years, I definitely have come to see this tree as more than just a tree in front of my patio. I've watched it grow, I've watched it get bigger, I've watched it interact with the world and go through different seasons change and, kind of watched it grow essentially from a much smaller tree when I first moved here. And so, yeah, we spend the attention on that. And, well, what have I been spending my attention on recently? Well, making videos and having a lot of fun doing it, a lot of fun creating different digital funnies. I don't know, just things that I find to be, as someone said, silly. I think it's awesome to get back to that childlike state of being silly. And the recent videos for my Do Nothing or Do No Thing series, they've added in different elements that are comical and humorous and somewhat tell a story and actually have a purpose for being there, to cause distraction, to break one from concentration. And, well, meditation may be a different thing for everyone. These are essentially playing on the idea of when I was in martial arts when I was younger, I would have to hold my attention and I would have my master to actually try to break my attention, like to make me lose focus. And me being 16, I was one of the most concentrated, like nothing could get me to move or to get distracted. I always loved that. So I find these different bears and pigeons and such that they kind of tell a story sometimes within the actual video itself, like the Simba story, where the birds are purposely trying to get Simba to break from doing nothing. That's the story that's in that one, versus other ones where the bear is just getting bigger and bigger from eating all the gummies. And that's the distraction of, just that there's the story as well as just the bear itself coming periodically to eat it. And those are essentially meant to distract, but also to add a different layer within the do nothing. So telling a story, a narrative on top of the actual actions of meditation. So I thought that was super cool. And so, yeah, I've created a lot recently. I remade my video to do with, well, love and forgot the, some kind of beautiful. And I had some issues with uploading that, being told that I wasn't allowed to have the license for the music, so they wouldn't let me put it up until on time. And now, yeah, now's now and everything is gravy, so definitely take a look at that video. Now moving on to today. So the world is insane, isn't it? Or at least that's what is perceived by me from what I see on YouTube and in the news, the little bit that I do watch, and talking to people about what's happening. There's some amazing, amazing events going on right now. But one of the important things I think for all of us is no matter what's happening out in the world, what the chaos and the potential for what could happen, for us to stay essentially steadfast in the now, the present moment, do nothing, do no thing, like to be present is essentially what that means. And it's definitely a good place to be as the world does go spinning in whatever direction it's going. And for us to be on the other side of that wall is for us to observe what's happening with an so fashion, that it's out there, and perhaps, well, sometimes it may hurt to watch it happen, or to see it happen, or to be made to believe it's happening somewhere else in the world. Yeah, it's definitely good for us to stay grounded within our own fields, our own communities, our own experiences, those who we walk by and ripple our expression out with. Anyways, I don't want to get too gloomy. It has been, well, creative. The energy has been heavy, and that's kind of to be expected if we are coming to the end of a system that is essentially fighting for its existence. And so the chaos perhaps that we see out in the world is a visual representation of that chaos that the controlling AI is going through energetically, and perhaps that's how we're experiencing it physically. Food for thought, yes. See, as I said, I didn't really know what I was going to come on and talk about. I hadn't planned on doing any sort of live stream. And yet, I don't know, maybe there is a reason that something that I'm saying tonight matters, or perhaps it simply plays a small fragment or a small block in a larger, much larger picture. Nonetheless, I'm here, you're listening, and cars are driving by, and I'm loving my tree. Yeah. One of the main themes of my channel has always been love. Because, first of all, I think that love is the connection that holds everyone together or connects everyone. It's also an aspect or the experience of God. They sometimes say that when we feel love, that feeling is God in action, like, or I don't know. I don't know so much of how to explain it, but the frequency of love to be that of, or the closest to the frequency of God, if we're looking at the world in frequencies, and to have the experience, the true experience of love, love being the spider web kind of idea that's connecting everything. It's the filaments in between that represents love. And forgiveness has been another one that's been heavenly, or so much so that I created a course that YouTube decided wasn't course worthy, so they made it back into a normal playlist. But a lot of the videos and the topics, even in the Shawn's thoughts and the love stories, are essentially about forgiveness, about being able to move forward within existing relationships more so, because we've gotten to a state of forgiveness, realizing each of our parts in the grand scheme of what's happened. Yeah, that's been a definite repeating topic. And I think that it's very, very important for us to work on healing so that we have room for forgiveness, and then more healing because we've forgiven and we've released that trauma that we've held on to. Yeah. I'm sure I've said lots enough about forgiveness, so I'll stop right there about that. Yeah, it is interesting when people stop to think about things like, I was imagining what it's going to feel like. And when I mean imagining, I was actually like thinking about how my body would react when the confirmation that the matrix has fallen comes to the expression within our own reality. And to know, which means to realize, it's been realized in a reality that we are essentially free. Like I was imagining what that's going to feel like and visualizing it. And that's, if we are the ones creating a reality, just visualizing the reality that I want to experience and that I want to actually do is so important. And, you know, they took our ability to create and they essentially designed us to create the reality, which essentially imprisoned us. Like, we are powerful creators. And I truly do believe that we are going to return to that understanding of being powerful creators. Like, me, myself, and I am still working on it, just like everyone else that I'm aware of, anyways, because the ones who perhaps can already have yet to disclose that they can, which kind of makes sense. Nonetheless, I do believe that we are co creators in that we create, or once did create, from what they call a primordial directive, where we had a list of rules of how we could and what we could and how it blended with everything else. And that perhaps we'll go back to that somehow. So, I don't know. All I know is I'm really, really looking forward to doing a whole lot of things, and they're all based around love and the expression of love, the forgiveness of love, the giving of love, receiving of love. We're not talking all about the physical stuff, but the actual coming together and everyone pulling each other up style of love. So no more people sleeping on the streets, and no more lack, that there being abundance. And abundance, of course, means the things that we need. So as we all start to learn that and start to work together, that whole reality that I foresee all the time when I talk about it on my I Foresee series, that it is possible. And I definitely would love to actually experience myself, or watch myself see myself in that moment when I realize it in my own reality myself. I hope all this is coherent. Like, I often listen to my audios after, and sometimes I wonder about the things I say, but not wonder, but you know, I can see how some people perhaps would think something differently, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to cut this off now. It's been a pleasure sharing my attention with you, and I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments and, get that conversation sparking. And, that could also, as I said before, perhaps let's talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. Give me a topic and let's converse and create a discussion and see where it goes from there. Have a good night. Thank you so much.